The opinions expressed in the following podcast are those of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. The talking, nagging, lucha watching, Puro viewing, indie supporting, drinking, cursing, son of a gun of a podcast. Former pro wrestling manager, wrestler, and promoter Dave Dynasty and co-host Ike Isaacs discuss wrestling and chat with others in the business. This is the Dave Dynasty Show.
Greetings and welcome to the Dave Dynasty Show.
Howdy.
The podcast bringing positivity back to pro wrestling. I am your host, Dave Dynasty. I am joined by...
Ike Isaacs.
Joined with... I'm not sure which is proper, but anyway.
Is this like the I am well or I am good scenario?
I suppose. But this is a bonus episode.
A raging bonus.
You kind of make it weird. This is the first episode in a series we will do over a period of time. No really set schedule. Hopefully, roughly one a month of these that will showcase interviews with legends of Indiana wrestling. And on this first episode, we have Bobo Brazil Jr.
Holla.
And, so before we kind of get into it all, visit us at DaveDynasty.com for all of our social media links. And while you're there, visit all of our sponsors, support them, and you're supporting us. So Ike did a big interview with Bobo Brazil, 40-year career. He had a lot to talk about. Good chat. Stories about Scott Steiner, little name dropping, a pork chop cash. What more can you want? Tales of Dick the Bruiser. Good stuff.
It was probably one of the more interesting interviews I've done. And I'll apologize because he sometimes when he's speaking, like I can understand him a little bit, but it's hard to understand him. But okay. Most of the time you can hear what he's saying.
It's all right. A lot of people, I don't know, they may or may not know Bobo was he was a very integral part of my starting to professional wrestling. Because when I broke in, oh my God, 18 years ago. A long time ago. I trained and broke in Hoosier Pro Wrestling and in Central Indiana, and Bobo was a mainstay there. And at that point, he'd already been around for a while, and he was established. And he at that time it was weird when you were in the locker room. You were the new guy. You kind of sat off to yourself, and you didn't really speak to much of anybody unless they spoke to you first, and the vets oftentimes didn't speak to you. Yeah. But Bo was always a good guy. He always spoke to me, always gave me advice, always seemed very interested in what I was doing. I started as a manager, then went into wrestling, but he was always giving me advice and helping me out, and it was always good. And we interacted lots of times, had lots of different things when I was managing and wrestling. I believe I think the only time I've actually wrestled him was in a tag match. But anyway, the worst chop I've ever experienced in wrestling. But my favorite Bobo Brazil personal story is one time we were doing a benefit show. I don't remember many details about what it was or whatever, but and I only remember it being a benefit show because it was I can't remember where, but it was in a different spot than where we usually ran our show, a different building. But anyway, and I don't remember the exact. I think there was a young guy named who wrestled as Big Dada, and him and Bo kind of took him under his wing a little bit, and I think they were kind of teaming some. And I think on this show, I'm not sure, they were teaming. No, that's not true. Back up the train. Bo was wrestling Luscious Lonnie Lee, who I was managing. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, whatever the case may be, me and whoever I was managing came out first, right? Because we were the heels. And then Bo came out. And all I remember is I'm standing by the ring, and we're doing the stare down, kind of talking a little bit, like we did. And he leaned down like he was really, jawing at me. And all I heard him say was, "Dynasty, pick up my B." And I kind of was like, I had to have had a weird look on my face. And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Will you pick up my B?" I said, "What are you talking about, Bo?" He said, "When I walked out, the B fell off my ring jacket. It's laying over on the floor. Will you pick it up?" So I had to inconspicuously go over and pick up the letter B off the ground. That was in my pocket. Which I'm sure when I did that, people were accusing me of having a foreign object.
Sure.
It was just a B. It was just the letter B. I was all ready for Sesame Street.
Oh, it's like...
Today's letter is letter B.
What is it that the count used to do? It's like B,
The count was into numbers. That's
Oh,
why
that's
his
right.
name is
One.
Count. One.
Two.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyways,
Yeah.
that was a weird.
I love
That was a
Sesame
weird
Street.
transition.
That's something else. But anyway, yeah, that story has always been funny to me. Just it was so odd. But yeah. So I'd like to very publicly thank Bobo Brazil for all he did for me early in my day, and Bo's still a great guy, and has a great career. Lots of stories to tell. So we're going to get right into it. We are honoring the legends of Indiana wrestling, and we are kicking it off with this episode and an interview with Bobo Brazil Jr. Enjoy.
And welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show. I am your co-host and producer, Ike Isaacs, and today I am joined by a legend of the Midwest, Bobo Brazil Jr. How are we doing today, sir?
Pretty good. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing pretty great. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Bobo Brazil Jr. is, like I said, he is a legend in the Midwest. If you know Midwest wrestling, you know Bobo Brazil Jr. So before I start marking out too much here, let's start the interview. So where are you from, sir? Where are you from?
Benton Harbor, Michigan.
All right. So along with a lot of wrestlers, they in their childhood, they start off playing sports. Is that similar for you? Did you play sports when you were younger?
Yes, I played sports when I was younger. I wrestled in school when I was younger, and my favorite game was really playing tug of war. I used to love to play tug of war and see who could pull under in the mud puddle. They had a big mud puddle there. I loved that game. I was always on the winning side.
Oh, absolutely. I imagine you were. So, as we've been saying, you've been wrestling for quite a while. What are some of your first memories of wrestling?
My first memory of wrestling that I wrestled in a little small town called DeWalk, Michigan, right out from Benton Harbor. And then my next match I had, it was a little town that was Steele, Missouri. We only got paid $3 that night. And then I went on and started with Memphis wrestling a little bit. They wasn't that big then. I started with them, and then all of a sudden the old man said, look, seems like you're getting around. I ran into, you might not know them or heard of them, the Scuffling Hillbillies back in the day. And they was running Truman, Arkansas, so I made a big name there. Yeah. And then I went on, my best memory was to wrestle for a guy by the name of Bill Hughes. He wasn't recognized, but this guy could sell out a place everywhere he went. And then the guy seen me there, and he told Bruiser, he said, you ought to get this kid. Spike Huber did. He said, you ought to get this kid. So Spike gave me Victor Bruiser's number, and I called him. But at that time, the Federation had called me. So I was bouncing like a rubber ball back and forth. I go to St. Louis and do a show at the Kills, and I come back and do a show in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then I would go back and do a show for Vince in New York, and I would come back and do a show for Bruiser in Indianapolis. I was just back and forth. Bruiser decided one day, said, hey, this kid is pretty good. Let's send him to the AWA. So I go to the AWA, and I wrestle Ric Flair. 1 solid hour. The man toyed with me for 1 solid. And it was an experience, believe me. It gave me the experience that I need to stay in the ring with top professionals and learn something. My lifetime, I wrestled John Studd, Adrian Adonis, Dick Murdoch, Tony Atlas, Rocky Johnson, Mr. Fuji, But there's one guy I never did have a chance to wrestle. I sat in the dressing room and talked to him a lot, was Andre the Giant. And I wrestled many people over the world, and I've been all over the world wrestling.
Absolutely.
Some of the greatest. I didn't wrestle some of the greatest and then pin some of the greatest and took the towers away from them. The only power that I didn't take was guys that didn't want to get in the ring with me.
Yeah. So you seem like, obviously, having wrestled for the amount of time you've wrestled, you've had a lot of experience, and as you mentioned there, you've wrestled a lot of people. You've wrestled people that are big names. But if we can jump back a little bit, who is it when did you start training, and who trained you? Because obviously you had to be trained first before you got in the ring. So how was that? When was that?
All right, back in 79, I started training with Tiny Hampton, the Crusher, Dick the Bruiser, Soilard Kermit. I was the punching bag. They needed somebody to do holds on, and I was taking up all that, and I was like comprehension everything that they was doing, and stuff. And so at the age, of 19, I began, I'm about to tell my age, at the age of 19, I had began to try to, go to the small shows and say, oh, I can wrestle. I remember once everybody knew him that in Kentucky was Dale Mann. He was a guy that when he told you to do something, you either do it or you was out. So I stayed with him in my younger days as a rookie and got a chance a lifetime to tag up. My first tag partner was Billy Travis. Bless his soul, rest in peace. He's dead and gone now. And then my experience kind of came more from there and what my father taught me to do. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to go out and make a name of my own.
Yeah.
Many people remember me out through Indianapolis as from being Jim Burke. You look up my record, it'll tell you Jim Burke, Disco Dog, and then Calypso Jim came along, and then I stayed with Calypso Jim, and then my father told me that I need you to take this name, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I made a great name for myself as a Jamaican wrestler. I came out on a Jamaican song, like somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. It was a Caribbean guy that sung it, and I was over in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. I wrestled over there several times, and then I came over to Canada, got with George Cannon. I mean, out of the 45 years I wrestled, I can say I wrestled some of the best. I hung with some of the best. Texas wrestling, WWE wrestling, NWA, WCW, and Jody Hamilton was booking. With WWA and other little small organizations was way off. Even the Sheik back in the day, I traveled in Japan with him and Sabu and stuff. And I gave Sabu the experience that I was given coming up when he first started with nobody wrestling. So I gave him his first match.
Really?
And right today, he would not, any promotion we go in, he said, I'm not going to pin Bobo. It's respect, and I wish we had that in the business today.
Yeah.
I gave his very first match and got him on his way, and his respect that I was like a mentor to him, that he would not pin me. We went to WCW, he told him no, give me somebody else. We was up in big-time international wrestling, what his uncle used to run. He told him no, give me somebody else. He never did, or whatever show we was on, I tried to put him through a table twice before we broke it. But he gave me that respect. I wish it was in the business today. I truly wish that people would respect their mentors today, but they don't care. They're using all kind of profanity, and they trying to get their stuff out, but they take a cheap heat. Truly cheap heat is what they're taking to try to get themselves over. While I, myself, it might make a lot of them mad, but I'm not bragging about this. After 45 years, I don't have to be in there with you. I don't have to discuss nothing with you. You sit in your dressing room, I'll sit in my dressing room, and I can go out and have the best match that it ever was on that card without talking to you. because I know, I'm not bragging, but I know how to wrestle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something I can do is wrestle. I can't do nothing else.
Yeah, I mean,
I told him now, I have had, if he was living today, let's just so Jimmy Snooker told Dice Man, Ronnie Baker, TJ Powers, and Andy Shane, Flying Andy Shane, which was my tag partner, he told the promoter, do not never put them before me. Dice Man and I tore up the town for years. Dice Man, Ronnie Vegas. Everywhere we went, we had hardcore matches all up in South Dakota. People wanted us to come back. We outrated Hogan wherever we went. Not bragging on it, but that's just the facts of life, that the wrestling that I went through. And I've been somewhere everywhere. Philadelphia, Soul City Wrestling, been up there in Akron, Ohio for underground wrestling, and left some of the greatest thinking about, I hope I don't have to never get in the ring with this guy, because I take it to you. Yeah. If you can wrestle, I'll know about it. If you can't, I'm going to beat you. Mr. Hughes, WCW. They brought him in the Marion, Ohio Classic Championship Wrestling. I can take my hat off to him. He made me hold the belt up. After I held the belt up, I came back 2 months later and beat him on 2 out of 3 falls. People didn't understand why, because I was in my dressing room and he was in his dressing room, and there wasn't no talking. It was just wrestling.
Yeah.
And I out-wrestled him, and he gave me respect for that.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate him giving me respect for that.
So definitely wrestling's evolved, not necessarily for the good in a lot of ways, you know. Like you said, sometimes the whole respect aspect gets lost with wrestling. But something else that I think wrestling has lost over time is the idea of there being kind of a barrier between real life and wrestling. You know, used to you had kayfabe, you had there was that wall. You know, people didn't know that wrestling was scripted, and people used to say, you know, wrestling is this, wrestling is that, but back then they didn't have the internet and they didn't have all that stuff. So when you were being taught how to wrestle and you were doing your training, I'm sure you were taught that there was this kayfabe, that you had to uphold that story, right?
Right. That was the number one thing that they taught me in wrestling. Kayfabe and what it meant to the business.
Yeah.
See, a lot of wrestlers go in and want to shine for themselves. I learned this from Vince Sr. You come into an organization to help the company. Not because you got a wife out there, you got a girlfriend out there you want to show out. You didn't do that with me. If I found out that you had a girlfriend or a wife and you trying to impress her, sorry, you're going home unimpressed that night. I mean, that's the way it was. I was taught that way because I'm saying this serious, and I'm not saying this, that the guys back then was racial. If I went to a town and it was 90% of black there, I got beat. And it wasn't all like, look, these are my people out here. No, that doesn't work the way I came up. I brought 20 people with me. That didn't work the way I came up.
Yeah.
You respect the elders in the business. If they chewed you out in the back or something, took it as experience. Don't take it as, hey, he don't like me, and then take it as experience. I wrestled many people and a lot of people. The Freebirds, I can just keep naming and can back it up. You know, got the videos to back it up over in Japan. I got hit so hard from Leon Stink, I didn't go crying. I dished it back out. I beat Leon Stink in 1991, Tokyo Dome, 91,000 people at FMW. I beat him.
That's impressive.
And hey, hard as he hit me, I hit him back.
Absolutely.
I kickboxed over in Japan. I went over there and kickboxed at FMW. Anything we did to make money, you had to fit in. If your name began to travel, you had to be able to go over there. And Japan is the hardest place. Everybody, I want to go to Japan. There's 2 organizations right now you don't want to go that you think you can make it. With not knowing what Kayfabe is and no respect, you cannot make it. And World Wrestling Entertainment, you cannot make it in Japan because you're going to respect them.
Yep.
Or you'll come back home with something broke.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to respect them. I just can't understand independent now, but that they were pulled together. They just pulled together and stay content, everything would be all right. But independent, they won't pull together. If you got one working, he's thinking about you going to make more money than he's going to make, or you're going to put more in your pocket. It's for the organization. But, I have went to some organization and worked, and the promoter was scared to come up and say, hey, I can't pay you what you charge me to come in. A lot of times I would say, that's okay, thank you very much, shake his hand and walk away. That's the way I was taught, you see.
Yeah.
When I went places, I didn't go there broke depending on that payday to get me back home. You see, I was taught that you go and be able to come on your own. I did that with many promotions. I wrestled many promotions. If you look up this, type in when I had the stroke, 2011, when I had the heart attack the next day after the stroke. Johnny Wiseman put it on internet. I went back to Toledo, Powerbomb Championship Wrestling, where I was the world heavyweight champion at, for a visit. 3 months after, I walked in on crutches. They gave me a standing ovation. They got me in the ring. Then they turned around and put every belt that was in that organization on my shoulder and said, this is the true champion. That was true respect from Powerbomb Championship Wrestling.
Absolutely.
Wolfpack did the same thing. NFW out of Evansville, when I had the stroke and couldn't make it, they made a thank you video for me and get well soon. That's respect. You can't do these small independents. They won't do that. Well, he's gone. He won't be back no more. Who is he? And then when I did make my comeback, my phone was ringing off the hook. And that's what I can't understand. I go like, boy, these are some of the people calling me now because I'm the longest rated champion that it is in classic championship wrestling. 2.5 years I held the belt and fought hard for it. Other people don't do that.
No.
They can't hold their stamina. Most of the heavyweight champion you ever seen, but he hold the belt 6 months, night after night. 2.5 years I held that belt and represented that I was the CCW champion, classic championship wrestling. I am the last man that wrestled Ox Baker Sr. I am the last man. I took the title from him. I am the very last man.
Definitely. And and you have like I said, you have a very if you had a resume, your resume would be 20 pages long, literally.
It would. It literally would be 20 pages long. And you talking about respect? I was inducted on the 14th of this month in the Legend Hall of Fame. It made Texas newspaper. It happened in Indianapolis, but it made Texas newspaper. The guy sent me a copy of it. And that right there, it really brought water to my eyes because I'm a 19-time Hall of Famer. I got all my plaques here at the house. Decade of the Wrestler, bronze medal. Tag team was Wrestler of the Year. And then when I was inducted into the Legend Hall, the place was so full because you just really, it just electricity was all over the building. And we spoke about Kayfabe. And I went Ralph that night and made a guy tap out. You know, and I'm one of the guys that they know when I get in the ring, you know the first thing that comes to their mind?
What's that?
He's going to chop me like I stole something. Everybody can tell you they get in the ring with me, they go home and they say, what happened? Well, we know what happened. You Ralph Bobo. Because I come up in the hard knock school. If you can't take it, get out of the business.
Yeah.
You know, that's the school I came up in. If anybody knows the world's most dangerous wrestler, Dick the Bruiser, he didn't play when he got in the ring. They fired him from so many sports and organizations. He was a Green Bay Packer. They took him and put him on the bench because every time he went out, he hurt people. You know, if you look up his history, they'll tell you the same thing. He's from Strawtown, Indiana, and he told me himself. You know, back in '98, he said he had to literally be the most dangerous wrestler in the world to make it. You know, the first somebody that ever took the belts from them, and I was tag team partners with both of them, was the Road Warriors, right there in Milwaukee. I remember I was on the card. I remember Bruiser told him, if you ever slam me again, it's going to be a fight. And Animal said, well, it's no respect. Who cares? Who cares? And I was his tag team partner up in Jackson, Michigan for 5 months. And then at NWA Indianapolis, there at German Park, I got a chance and the pleasure to be the other one tag team partner, Animal. And he thanked me. You know, to look at a guy my age, been in the business 45 years, and I still was in there to able to out-wrestle the young guy that was in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned a little bit. You mentioned Dick the Bruiser. In the 80s, you worked for him in the WWA. Is that right?
I worked for him for 10 long years.
Absolutely. So you actually teamed with him, Dick the Bruiser, and you won tag titles.
Yes, we won tag title from Dr. Jerry Graham and Bulldog Don Kent, 14 miles in Von Dyke, Dearborn, Michigan.
So what was it like to win a championship like that with someone who you'd worked for so long and someone who you were probably really good friends with? What was that like?
Well, it was kind of like we had several matches together, okay, with the same team. And it was kind of like he didn't really want to win no match. He wanted to hurt the guy. You know, he get in there like, boom, the referee's on there. He would pop the referee, and I'm going like, oh, geez, we're not going to win the belt today. We're going to get disqualified. We got disqualified 4 times. And I was riding with him in the Mercedes-Benz. We left Indianapolis together. He said, what do you want to do tonight, kid? I said, well, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, and got disqualified this many times. So I guess one more night they're going to hurt him. And he said, we're going to go in and take the belt tonight. And I go, oh, really? He said, yeah, we're going to take the belt. You know, he never did guarantee you that. So he gets in the ring. There, we was over in Canada, you know, and we was at Access Canada. And as soon as he get in the ring, I mean, the place was packed. He gets in the ring, they cheering for us and going on, you know, throwing ribbons in the ring. So the bad guys come to the ring. Dr. Jerry Graham and Bulldog Don King. As soon as Jerry Graham stepped to the ring, he grabbed him and busted him up, just started beating him. We're like, oh, no, we're going to get disqualified again. So Jerry fell through the ropes. Kent wouldn't come in. Kent jumped off the apron to see what Jerry's relocation. Bruiser walked over and tagged me, and we go like, okay, it's my time. So we get in, I wrestle. Now, Bulldog Don Kent is dead and gone. But the man was a technician and a brutal wrestler that I ever seen. When he hit you in the stomach, it was like a baseball that hit you. And I'm like, wow, man, this guy's so I hit him with a big headbutt. He staggered back. I mean, connected, seriously, a shoot headbutt. He staggered back. I popped him. I chopped him in the chest. And bam, he hit the mat, got turned. I headbutted him. His head split wide open. I'm going like, oh, man, I'm in trouble. Stay on him. And I shot him in, gave him a big backdrop. He got up. I power slammed him. Tagged Bruiser. Bruiser got in his toe to claw on him. He gave up. He had to give up because he was bleeding everywhere. And, you know, we become the WWE World Tag Team Champions for the very first time in 1990. That meant a lot to me. It did, because I was the only youngest black guy that ever tagged with Bruiser.
Yeah.
And every time I look at that picture, his grandson sent me that picture. I mean, this chills go all over me like, wow, man, I was the only one that got in the ring with the most dangerous wrestler in the world and was successful out of all those disqualifications that we had.
Well, something else I was given to ask you is, you know, like you have this huge list of people that you've wrestled with, that you've wrestled against. You have stories after stories after stories. But one person that we were curious about, because we know that he had wrestled in the WWE for a little bit, was Scott Steiner. Did you ever cross paths with him in the WWE?
No, I trained Scott Steiner. I helped train him.
Oh, did you?
We were tag team partners. Oh, I could tell you some stories about me and him traveling up and down the road.
Well, can you tell us one pretty good story about you guys?
Yes, we left Savannah, Ohio, and was headed back to Toledo. We didn't have time to get dressed. So we ride with this Ralph the Pigs on, and then, you know, no shirt and a convertible, hair blowing. I had a curl. You know, Scott hair was my hair blowing. Two police women pulled up beside us. Off-duty asked us to pull over. We pull over. So they give us an address to meet them in Toledo. And we go to the address, but we didn't quite get the street spell right. Because, you know, you're talking in a hurry. So we go and we get there, we go around to the back, we dive in the pool. We swimming like, so the women didn't come out. There was a guy come out, and I go like, God, who is that? He go, I don't know. He said, they said they'll be here a little bit later. So about 30 minutes went by. Now, remember, we got a wrestle that night at 8 o'clock. And this is like 5 in the evening. Nobody cared. So finally the cops came around and said, hey, how y'all doing? We're doing pretty good. They knew us. They knew us because we was on TV. They said, Calypso, Scott said, do you realize y'all in these people pool? We said, yeah, we was told by these two lady cops happened. They knew the two lady cops. They went to lab. They said, they live on the other side of town. What are y'all doing on this? The address. So we showed them the address. It's just the street was misspelled. And the people we had to get those couples and their two sons free tickets to get to the show to keep them getting locked up for the trespassing. Scott and I, we laughed about it when we got the convertible and went around. So the two female cops came to the show, and when the other cops had told them what happened, boy, they came, and we was a laughing stock. But it was one of the greatest nights that we ever had tagging together. You know, and then we went on the next night, and they split us up. They gave me Dennis Cash, which he's dead and gone, and we was Team USA, and Scott Steiner took belt from the Great Rojo to become the WWA World Heavyweight Champion. That was the greatest time, and we still run together, we still hung together. I was the tag team champion, one half tag team champion, he was the heavyweight champion. We went everywhere together, and then he said, I want to go places. And I said, well, go down to Memphis. They don't pay much. I said, but go down to Memphis. I went to WCW. He went down to Memphis. So my 3 weeks in WCW was time for me to come back to the WWA. He went, and they said, we didn't send for you. We sent for Clips of the Gym. What are you doing here? Well, the promoter, Nick Goulas out of Nashville, Tennessee, sent him there. They didn't get the email, so they sent Scott Steiner back to Memphis. I had to turn around and go back for another week, and then they sent me to Memphis to tag with Scott. It was another great time, but he was something else. He was a character and a half. You cannot get him today. Right today, you cannot. If you ever interview him, he would not say Bobo Jr. He would always say Clips on Jim. My wife met him in 2005, and she said, Bobo told me to come around to this door. He said, you mean Clips on Jim? She said, why he called you? I said, that's all he's going to ever call me. That's all he ever. But we had a lot of fun as being a Big Ten Michigan wrestler. Scott was. We went to a lot of homes to see children. That Hogan didn't go to see. I'm not down with Hogan, but Hogan's supposed to have been there. George Cannon said, I need you two to go. At the time, I was a resident of Indianapolis. I had to drive from Indianapolis to Detroit, and Scott he had to drive from Memphis to Detroit. You know, that's how dedicated we was to wrestling. And guys is not dedicated like that no more. You know, promoter called them, and they like, oh, I got to have, $500 to come in. I got to have a hotel. We didn't care about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, when we got there, we made sure that we had money to go back home.
Yeah.
You know, you can, if you can get independent to do that, you got guys, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that want championship belts. And what angle did you run to get a championship belt? Everything from a soap opera on down had a storyline, right or wrong. They have the storyline.
Yeah, absolutely.
These young guys, they don't have a storyline. They have an ego. Oh, I want to be this, I want to be this. What have you done to get there? What dues have you paid to get there? You know, I never had nobody that had that. I had to work hard for what I am. I went to towns and didn't get paid a lot of times. But I held my head up and kept going. That's why I made it so far in the business, never had a broken bone. Wrestling didn't give me a stroke. Wrestling didn't give me the 2 heart attacks. Traveling so much gave it to me. I'd travel and come back and work. I'd leave the next day and go. I'd come back and work. Had plenty of hotels to sleep in, but I'd choose to drive back home. Especially when my father was sick, I drove back home all the time.
Yeah. So, another question I have for you. You know, your name, the name you work under, it's Bobo Brazil Jr. So there was obviously someone before you named Bobo Brazil. So when did
Carl,
you?
My brother Carl.
Yeah. When did you meet Bobo Brazil?
When I was actually to find out that he was really my father, I was 5 years old. Living in the Wajak Mission, which is about 5 miles from there. He come and got me one time. And because everybody said, man, this kid is strange. He likes to wrestle all the time. When I was little, they said I was always out in the yard wrestling. So he came and got me. I went to meet Carl, Reggie, Steve, Beverly, my sister, and the older sister, and the other stepbrothers. And 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 so on. And I met my stepmother. She was crazy about me, and even till I grew up, and got grown, I still went by to see them and stuff, and was welcomed with open arms. Wasn't a stranger. The day that in '94 when my father passed, if anybody seen the newspaper, the truth was when me and Carl got up, I introduced him as Bobo Jr. 1, and I was Bobo Brazil Jr. 2 with the copyright of his name. I had the copyright.
Yeah. So you kind of told us how you met him, but what was your relationship with him was kind of like, you guys are very close, but
he was closer to me than I was to him because I didn't realize when everybody was telling me that Houston Harris. That's what I really knew him by before I knew that he was using his actual name, Bobo Brazil. Mm-hmm. Houston Harris is asking how you doing. I knew who Houston Harris was, but I had never heard his stage name until we met in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
So every time I got a chance to watch the TV from working out and stuff, he was already wrestling. And it was a big, a big deal to a lot of people. I'll say a lot of fans, but because I was around him all the time, my stepmother, Mama Shorty would always call him Houston. She would never call him Bobo. And I always call him, big man, what's up, Pops, And when I first heard the name, I go like, wow. I didn't know that. I never heard the name Bobo. I heard all the other names. But then nobody really called, they said Houston. In the business, they call you by your shoot name when you have a contract. Now, if you don't have a contract like independent, the promoter will call you by your work name. You see? Yeah. That was different at WWF at the time. This senior called everybody about their shoot name, which was their real name.
Yeah.
And I was in the dressing room, in our dressing room when they announced it. Big John Sturd, Jesse the Body, I rapped to him a lot. In Detroit, at Joe Louis Arena. That's when I began to learn all the guys' names. I was there so I could hear them, but most of the time we'd be back there, we can't hear who's calling who if you're not looking at the monitor.
Yeah.
And when you're a rookie, you don't see the monitor. You get a knock on the door, you got 20 minutes, you're up next. And that's it. Some of these guys couldn't even take it. You just sit there and wait like you locked in jail.
Yeah.
They couldn't take it. So that's what it's like. 6 to 7, we were job guys. We was like 6 to 7 in one room and 6 to 7 in the other room. We did all dark matches. We go out and and get beat up and get paid. $250 a match. You ought to wrestle 3 to 4 times. And any given night, you would wrestle 3 to 4 times. So when they show the TV, the guys already worked out. If you're good enough, like I became, and not bragging, that I got a chance to be on TV with John Sturd, Adrian Adonis, Dick Murdoch, which was a tag team, Rocky Johnson, Tony Allen, Mr. Fuji, Jesse the Body. Everybody came through. I got a chance to be on TV with them back in the 80s.
Absolutely. So, obviously, now that you we're talking about shoot names, work names, but obviously you have the work name Bobo Brazil Jr. So, when did the original Bobo Brazil do, and he passed it on to you? What was that like? What did that kind of mean to you?
Well, it was like you was taking something from me to try to give me a set of boots that I couldn't feel that I thought at the time. But in Niles, Michigan, in a Beirut Park there in 1998. I was handing the paper from my stepmother, saying, "This is the true and living son of a legend, Bobo Brazil Jr., a.k.a. Calypso Jim." And, with him not being there to honor that name, now, before he passed away, he called me that. I never will forget it. He called me that in Kokomo, Indiana one time. I had one out of Russia. Jamie Dundee was there. And my brother was supposed to have been his tag partner.
Yeah.
They had an argument. Something went on. I don't know what went on. My brother pulled his clothes off and said, "Ain't your way with this." I don't ask no question. I never did ask that question. So I was down there getting ready to go on a date. He said, "Hey, puppy," that's what he called me. I said, "Sir." He said, "Put your clothes back on, your boots and everything." Well, you didn't ask my old man why. You didn't do that. And the looks in his eyes, he was serious, so I said, "Okay." When I went out, he had them announce me that one time in front of a crowd of 700 and some people in the National Guard Army in Kokomo. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new Bobo Brazil Jr." And I'm like, "Huh?" But I didn't say that very loud. Trust me. I just raised my hand, and so it went on. Mama Shorty had they signed the paper then, a guy by the name of Big Bubba and that lived up there around the town that James Dean lived in. The actor James Dean lived in. Bubba, they call him Big Bubba. He had the copyright to give to me, but he never gave it to me because the show was planned, and I left and went to England. When I come back from England 2 years later, Mama Shorty in Niles, Michigan, came to the show. Carl brought her. Bobo Brazil Jr. Warren brought her. And my sister Beverly brought her to the show. They helped her up in the stands. And when I got through wrestling, it was the Golden Lounge, Dice Man Ronnie Vegas, J.J. Bowers, which is dead, it's called Bounty Hunter, against me and Andy. 3 against 2. We beat them. And I was so tired. I was so tired because it was hot. Beat them down on that baseball field. And I never forget, I went to step through the ropes and somebody come over the loudspeaker and said, "Sir, would you step back in the ring?" And I said, "Well, what's wrong?" So my partner Andy stepped back in the ring with me. And I heard this lady's voice say, "Ladies and gentlemen, the young man standing in the ring is standing 6'2", 240 pounds, is no more Calypso Jim." I said, "What's going on?" He said, "The copyright is going to be brought to him." So my sister brought me the copyright. And the guy handed me my mic and said, "Read what's on the paper." It said, "I, Houston Harris, in a sound mind, has given," call me by my shoot name, "my son, my name is Bobo Brazil Jr." Water fell in my eyes, and my wife has that letter with her today, still in the envelope. It took 4 people to get me out that ring. It really did. I was crying so hard. I was hurt, for one thing. A name that I went out and built for myself, I had to let it go. And do you know how hard it is to feel? Right today, I'm still trying to fill those 2 boots of his. Everybody wanted to beat my father. Everybody wanted to beat him. He was the only black man that broke the band, the rest was white men. And if everybody could beat that name, I done went places, and the promoter, "Would you let so-and-so go over?" I said, "Well, how long he's been wrestling. And before he could even tell me, I said, no, you're not paying me enough money to do that. I've been detecting that name ever since 1998. I've been detecting that name.
Absolutely. So, kind of talking about protecting the name of Bobo Brazil. If I'm not mistaken, in the early 2000s, there was someone on the East Coast who briefly called himself Bobo Brazil Jr. I didn't know if you knew who they were, if you ever had to contact them.
Yeah, he was a guy, and I think it was in Carolina, south of North Carolina. I was on the road traveling, and I stopped in South Carolina. That's where it was. South Carolina. George Stitt was the promoter. And I stopped to get direction, and I looked on the sign, the raffle card, Bobo Brazil Jr. I said, nobody contacted me. And so it was he might have been a security guard. I didn't pay him too much attention. He had a gun and badge and mace and all that stuff. He said, who are you? I said, I'm Bobo Brazil Jr. So I asked him, I handed me the letter. That's for WCW. I handed the police the letter. He said, oh, I'll show you what this is at. So I go to the place, and I walk in, and my wife walked in. They said, that'll be $10. I said, no, I'm on the card. They said, who are you? I said, Bobo Brazil Jr. And the lady at the door said, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. And the police officer, he's the original Bobo Brazil Jr. I said, is there another one? And this is the truth. I walked in the dressing room. George Stitt said, who are you? And one guy in there knew me. You might have heard of him. Man on a Mission at the time.
Yeah.
Mo and Mabel. Well, Mo knew me. Mo said, that's Bobo Brazil Jr. right there. The other Bobo Brazil Jr. grabbed his boots. He wasn't near tall as I was. He was a stocky guy, short, stocky guy, and left out the building. And I go like, who's that just left out? And Mo walked up to me and said, it's Jim. I said, what? He said, that was Bobo Brazil Jr. Imposter right there. I said, what? So I go to the promoter. I go like, what's going on, man? I said, why would y'all let somebody use a name that doesn't belong to him? I said, he ain't kin to us? He goes, well, I don't even know who you are. So I walked outside and asked the police officer would he come in to keep from pulling the letter back out of my wife's pocket and stuff. And I told the police officer, would you tell him who I am? He said, he's the original Bobo Brazil Jr. I seen the copyright. That promoter almost went through the floor. So he said, well, since you're here, do you mind wrestling? I said, sure. You got $750? Because the guy he was going to wrestle was supposed to be. He said, what do you mean? I said, I'm not putting on my boots no less than $750. You got my name on the poster. You automatically have to pay me. And that police officer told him, said, you're right. He's got the original name. And it's in South. I said, you don't have to pay me for wrestling. You're going to pay me for my name being on that card. And so I got on the phone and called my lawyer. And my lawyer, he said, is there any law enforcement around anywhere? I said, yes, there's one. And I handed the cell phone to him, and the police officer wrote down a lot of stuff and took George's information. And so but that match didn't happen, so I get to my car and I come on out and drive on home. So when I tell Jody Hamilton about this guy wrestling with me. So with WCW official officer sending this guy a letter, and my lawyer sending this guy a letter, he was about to lose everything. By being a person that I am, I personally called him and just told him, look, if you donate that money to some charity, I won't press charges. So he donated the money to a children's home there. And I called the children's home, and they said, yes, we have the check. And I don't think he raised shit in South Carolina. But that a lot of people will do that. They will try to use that name, like Victor Bruiser Jr. now is the son-in-law, well, the ex-son-in-law. And Mrs. A let him use that name for so much money a month. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way she did. But see, I just happened to have a lot of us wrote for me to have that name because the style of wrestling I was, and he trained. Now, he trained both of them. My other brother, Carl, Carl could have made it big time, but it was a brick wall between Carl and the wrestling world.
Absolutely.
He decided to go another way. He wanted the sport, but he wanted his cake and ice cream with it. And you can't have it like that. You got to let something go to be able to be on this road. You have to let drinking go. You have to let smoking go. You have to let all the drugs go to be an athlete to make it. And I never did all of that. I smoked a little marijuana in my life. You know, I didn't get caught, I wouldn't let my father catch me. So when I quit, a couple of years I quit, and, you know, and I never was tested and busted on because I quit. I never was tested with steroids or nothing. It was just hard work.
Yeah.
And it's still hard. I go to arenas right now. They respect me as a legend. They respect me as the son of a legend. But a whole lot of them come up to me and say, what do you think about me winning the match over you tonight? I said, can you wrestle? And they go, oh, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I go, you going to do that by yourself? I'm a wrestler. Okay? I can wrestle anybody. Ricky Steamboat, any of them that gets in the ring, the classified, very respectful. I respect him a lot, and the man can wrestle. Ric Flair, I respect him a lot. Shawn Michaels, when they were the Rockers, I wrestled them. And I got nothing but respect because I respect them.
Absolutely. Now, kind of on the same thought process, we were talking about how, you know, you're protecting your name. You know, your name is very prestigious. You have issues with people just taking it and not asking you, of course. In this situation, you know, you clearly settled it with the Bobo Brazil Jr. Fake in South Carolina. But I guess recently there's been a Bobo Brazil III that's made a few appearances. Any connection to you?
No, his one in Louisville, Kentucky, and his one down in Mississippi. They both little short guys. That's why I laugh. But how could they be Bobo Brazil III? They're not near tall as I am. They're not near big as I am. And they don't know how to wrestle. I seen one of them. I didn't give him a hard time. I just told him, kid, you carry that name, you're going to get beat everywhere you go because you can't wrestle. Now, the one down in Mississippi, Pork Chop Cash, I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh, yes. Pork Chop Cash.
I have his phone number, and he trained the guy that name that's down there in some part of Mississippi. But the kid is not going to never make a name because when they see me and see him, they know there's no connection, there's no kin there, no.
I gotcha. So that's
see, the most thing about it, that all my father kids, Houston Harris kids, we all over from like 6 feet up. There's no short ones in our family. There's no short ones. None of the grandkids, I haven't seen none of the grandkids. It's not my nieces and nephews. You know, a couple of them I got to look up at. Some of them I look straight in the eye. no short ones.
Definitely. So, obviously, as I've hopefully people know is that like you are just a legend, and the Midwest people know you because, and all over the
Right.
country and all over the world, people know you. But when people look at your career, a strong, very powerful 40-year career, what do you hope people will notice about your career overall?
Well, really, a lot of them notice that, for one, he don't look that old. For two, how can he be that old and move like that? That's what a lot of them have told me. But what I expect out of them is just to be and to look at my career that I gave back something.
Yeah.
That my father couldn't even give back. You see,
Absolutely.
he couldn't give that back, and overall, I was thinking that what the people really think, that I carried the name well. I did. I carried it well. I'm still carrying it well. See, I don't allow them to put them on YouTube too much, because when they put them on YouTube a lot, people see me and then they start calling me from everywhere. And it ain't that deal of I can travel like that no more. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I travel. Man, I'm telling you, if you call me just said to come to Florida, which I got a match in Georgia coming up, I have to drive truly a 2-day drive almost, because I want to stop and look at the countryside. My wife might want to stop and have a store. If you're married, they want to shop in Walmart. So, that's what it is going. But really, truly, to lay our jokes aside, a lot of people really think of me as an icon. And, I got kids, a little kid that really, he had a seizure the 4th of July last year because he couldn't see me. I was at Bishop's house. I was fishing on his lake. And the kid couldn't come, and he went into a seizure bad enough that he almost died. Mm-hmm. And when he came to himself, he asked, where's Bobo at? And I got many belts here at home, just like I got trophies. The hardcore belt that I used to wrestle with, and I took it and carried it for a long time, I gave it to him. So people look at me now like a hero, but he is my hero. My life done changed. I represent the good Lord now when I get in the ring. My outfit got Philippians 4:13 on it. And I'm a minister now, and I still have time to go out and give something back. So they look at me like, okay, we know Rob Conway. All these guys come, but I don't care who go out before me, and I'm going to let you do the guessing of this. I can go out and put the crowd on their feet at the age I am now, just like they do.
Absolutely. Yep, I would definitely agree with that. So, obviously, you've wrestled for so long, and you've accomplished so much. Do you have any goals for 2017? Anything that you are trying to achieve this year?
Well, really, the only thing that I'm going to try to achieve this year is if I can keep the CCW Classic Championship Wrestling in Marion, Ohio, belt to the end of this year. That's the goal I want. I'll be to help that belt 3.5 years.
Absolutely.
And since Ox Baker dropped it to me on his very last match 2 weeks before he died. That's why I want to hold. That's what I want to achieve, holding the belt that he carried. Now, I didn't carry the belt that Dick the Bruiser had, heavyweight champion. Harley Race held it. Von Ronrowski held it. At one time, the Valiant Brothers held it. But this classic championship wrestling belt means a lot to me. My goal is I can just hold it to Christmas. I'm probably going to hold it longer than that because it's going to take a good man, even at my age now, young or old, to get in there and out-wrestle me for it.
So, obviously, you have that's obviously a fantastic goal that you have. So, as we kind of wrap up the interview, is there any upcoming shows or appearances you'd like to plug on here for people to hear?
Yes. We're doing a show in Dales, Indiana at the community center. A fundraiser for little Bubby, that's the one that had the seizures. His father doesn't have a job right now, and I'm going to help them. That's one show. That's March the 18th in Dale, Indiana at the community center. We got one first Friday of next month in Jeffersonville, Indiana, at the arena. And we got one in CCW. I don't know what date it's going to be. It's in Marion, Ohio. And then we got one in Salem, Indiana.
Okay. So I got a lot of appearances coming up. So everybody who is listening, definitely look up these promotions, look up these dates, and if you're near them, go to them, go watch them. Of course, always support independent wrestling. But, Bobo, is there anywhere on social media that fans can follow you, follow your career, and follow where you're going to be wrestling here in the next couple months?
Yes, they can look on either join to MCIW New Breed Wrestling and Finance. The logo is a big fist ball with MCIW New Breed on it. And plug on and find out where I'm at and where I'm going and where I'm going to appear. One I forgot is IPW in Muncie, Indiana is on the 25th of March. I'll be there.
Right on. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Bobo. This has actually been a really awesome interview. It's been an honor to talk to you and hear all your amazing stories, and honestly just listen to all the fantastic times you've had. And it's actually been a legitimate honor. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.